Hello to all traders. This is Victor here from Trendfolding Trading for Beginners. And in today's episode, I want to talk about 20 things you can learn from your trading mistakes. Coming up next. Hi everybody, welcome back. Just to continue with my last podcast on the 20 things that new traders basically make mistake from and what I learned from them. So just 20 things you can learn, and here's the next 10, so to speak. The first one from this part 2 of the podcast is system jumping. This one took me a long time to realize that, when I start tracking my trade and look at it, I find myself looking at my results, my journal and stuff, and find myself all over the place with different style, different system, different reason going in, some of which making money, others are not, and I find myself doing all sort of odd things, funny things, and basically sometimes suffer from big drawdown, shark bite I call them, and sometimes, small losses, a lot of the small losses, I call like fish bite, piranha bite. Small little bite that just destroy my account slowly, but surely it is dwindling my account money. So, this is very common in fast from my conversation with my friends and other traders. Basically, it is just the fact that, people at the start when they first learn trading, they're bombarded with different informations. And to be fair and honest, people should go and try different things. But it comes to a point when you want to get serious about trading, you need to determine what system you actually use and like, and then stick with that one. I will talk a bit more about choosing a system and that kind of stuff. But system jumping at the start seems okay, but soon you realize you're not making consistent profit or even consistent issues, because you're using different methods, jumping all over the place. Sometimes seems to work, sometimes not working. And the most difficult things I found myself is that I use one system for a while. It seems to make money, especially at the start. And then it stopped working. And like everybody else, the new starter, I just go jump another system, find my next holy grail, so to speak. But, if you're a new trader, you always thought that there is a holy grail, there must be a system out there that works on all weathers. And I think that's a fallacy. Just like look at the weather outside. It could be a sunny day where your part of world is, but if it's always sunny, you get a desert because just no rain and nothing grows. If it's always raining, again, your whole place got flooded, and it's not a very good place to live. So just like trading system, you need something in between. So you live anywhere that have 4 seasons, or even anywhere that rain and sunshine and stuff. You found that a mixture of both sunshine and rain are good. Just like there's light and there's day and there's evening. If you constantly have just one version always working, it doesn't seem to work, is it? It just go against the grain. So any system have its uptime when it's making good money and downtime when it's not making money. And new traders, because they just focus more, in my view, on the money than the process, and finding something that fit them, my system that fit them, or methodology, whatever you call it, that fit their personality as well as their time and trading style and emotion, account those kind of level. They jump up and down, going everywhere and going around in a circle, biting their own tails, stepping on their own feet, and never go anywhere. And this is one thing that I found, very frustrating at the start of my journey. And like I mentioned last time, and the last point I raised in my last podcast, if I mentor, somebody will point it out to me right away. And yeah, this is just something that I found myself, especially DIY guys. You will find this later on to be quite true. Then next things, of course, is practice and more practice. I mean, from my point of view, once I found a system that I like and that fit my personality, I basically just keep on doing it and doing it and doing it. And you found that a lot of nitty-gritties, things like you don't follow your system, you don't follow every trade, because maybe your own personal life dictates certain things happen, and you just can't trade at certain times. And you found that maybe the market itself, or emotion, or your jobs, or something, or children's sake, or kind of thing. So you just don't follow the rules, and then you basically lack of practice on your trading style. But once you start trading and you stick with your style, you really have to keep on practicing and doing it and doing it and doing it, and slowly you found what you like and dislike, what you can and cannot do, and what your system is good at. And then at this point in time, once you select system, you might realize this is not a system that for you. There's no shame in it. Okay, now going back to the previous on system jumping, if you follow some system and you say that's for me, and you find out later on it's not for you, go and find another one. But doing the same thing, follow one and make until you're happy with it, you think you can do it, and stick with it, and practice and practice and practice, and learn from your mistakes. Learn your system, what is good at, what is not good at, and therefore you can trade accordingly, like trading size and risk management, those kind of things, put them all together. You then have a feel for the system, and then you learn not just the system itself, but also learn about yourself. It's more like teachers and students. Teacher and student have to work together. Just like the mentorship I talked about earlier last podcast. You have to know if you are okay and good for the system. The system have to know that if you're okay and good for it. And it comes through with you can track it through your journal, trading journal, daily journal, and also your mindset journal, basically tracking how you feel in between trades and so forth, and during the trade and after the trade, which then shows you what you feel, and it's got to be good for you to do that. And also when you practice, you see the probability of your system, how often that it loses. You use proper trade risk management, you limit your downside, but then you see the strings of patterns of how often it loses, how often it wins, and then you can do calculations and stuff. But you can only do that if you practice more and then go into it and then with wholeheartedly and continue that kind of things. And then when big things happen, like what we have back in February, end of February, early March, when the big hoo-ha came down, and not recently, the last 3-4 weeks, when this, in my view, is a bearish bounce of the market, you can capture those. If you have a system, trend following, for example, you capture those system right away, and those trades, and you increase basically the money value on your trading account. But if you haven't practiced it, you might not understand your system properly, and you get shaken out. You just say, okay, I just take 1 to 2, or 1 to 3, or 1 to 5, and then go. But when you're shorting, for example, early in the year, in February to March, if you only take, let's say, 1,000 pound or 2,000 pound out, and you thought that's great. Well, the system, if you have followed through in trend following, which I have, and which I learned from my own mistakes a long time ago, the market gone down about 5,000 odd points. For downturns, for example, 29,000 ish, to 20, 21,000 or 18,000, I think like 10,000 pounds something. Quite a lot. And you only capture 1 or 2,000 because you were worried, you were fearful and things like that. But if you practice more in time beforehand, you will able to, over time, basically you learn what you're good at, what you're not good at, and what your system can do, and then you trust your system more and follow through. Practice also help you to trust your system, especially when you're downtime, and how your system recover itself when it's downtime, make back your money or losses and then some. But this takes time. It doesn't come very quickly unless somebody like a mentor or a good trading friend who pointed out to you. That's very important. So remember to practice. Okay, once you find a system, practice and practice and practice it. Then the next things I think people are start to talk a bit more about it now, but I still feel it's just not enough. Is your mindset development. Mindset in the sense that, you need to understand what your system does, and you have the mindset to cope with it. That is when it's a string of winnings, everybody can cope. Anybody will be happy. But then that have its problem, because if you're fearful, worry about losing your profit, you might, like I said just now, cut your profit too short, leave a lot more money on the table because you didn't trust your system. And a lot of it's not just about the system itself, understand the system, but you. It's you. The brain in between your ears, the 6-inch there, so to speak, the gray matter. And your mindset development is important. Okay, understand the system. The practice help you to develop the trust, so you have the right mindset. But also, you need to talk about your own fear, what you worry about. And when you come down to like I'm going through at the moment, a lot of it's your mental state is because how you're brought up, your childhood, your environment, how your parents treat you, how your siblings treat you, how your uncle, aunties all treat you together. As a whole, the sum of it, stick with you. And you just manifestation of that sum of experience. And some, really is limiting belief, so to speak, I call them, and make you feel you're not worth it to have the money. And you sabotage yourself unconsciously. Consciously, you want all the money, but inside your brain, unconsciously, you feel you're not worth it because everybody tell you so. You just got used to it over years and years of practice, so to speak, drummed into you by your surrounding, by people you love around you, and so forth. So you need to go and get some books, and maybe to some extent, some people get some trading coach, psychology trading coach, to help them to get the mindset, screw it on properly, that kind of thing. But the other thing I found it useful is, going through, I think I mentioned it before, is imagination. Imagine that you're actually doing a trade and how you feel. Especially push the envelope. Say, okay, you got £1,000 account and you lose almost 1,000. What will you do? How do you feel? And in one trade, so to speak, what should you do? Should you just cut quickly? Yes. What do you feel? How do you feel? How you foresee that? And think about it. Imagine that's actually trading that way. And also, when you are winning money, what you should do, how you could just follow through. And perhaps you found, a lot more questions and answers at the start, but then you write them down, slowly think about it, and slowly imagine how you should do things. Read up on books about, mindset development, talk to other traders, talk to your coach, and find a set of instructions, so to speak, and then you mentally go through it, imagining it. And then step through. High performance athletes do that. If you watch the film called Rush, which talks about motor racing and stuff, that it really does. There's a part actually talks about the guy who, I can't remember his name, the guy who played Thor in Avengers. Okay. Yeah, he was basically sitting in the car or lying on the floor, just imagining how you turn, how the car is moving, what speed, what gear you move, how he moved his feet, how he looked which way and check anything body from his coming from behind and so forth. Those are good, forward projection, imagination, preparing yourself mentally, because your mind doesn't know if you can be tricked, so to speak, if you're actually doing it or actually imagining it or dreaming about it. So you can use that, and once you get used to this, your mind subconsciously, slowly, when you see similar situation, your mind know what to do then. You're less fearful. You have more trust to follow your system. It's useful techniques. I'm using it at the moment. It takes a lot of try and error. I'm doing that. Sometimes seems to work, sometimes don't. But you can learn about it. You learn about yourself, your emotional changes. You might feel sweaty, especially. Let's say you have £1,000 account, you suddenly make 2,000-3,000. Okay, it's not too bad. Let's say about 5,000-10,000. What happened? It's just on the right track and on the right time, buying some share that gold or whatever commodity just go up and up and up. What will you do? Are you going to really out of your comfort zone, making loads of money? Are you just going to close it out? Of course, in in your normal trading, outside trading, you say, I will follow my rules and follow it through. But when you're actually doing it, will you? It's very different between knowing it and doing it. Just like Matrix, say Morpheus said to Neo, he can only show him the path. There is difference between knowing it and doing it and walking through it. And we are like Neo. We have to go through all this trading, all these activities ourselves. It's great to have Ray Dalio's money, but will you go through his experience, losing everything? Okay, and then go back and see on Daddy's couch in about when he's 30 or 40s and start again? Can you do that? Everybody just want the money, want success, they forget. And the reverse of success is failures. And if you don't have the mental mindset to cope with it, you don't get the money. Okay, so this mindset things is very important to me anyways. And also, you can help it by reading books. Because of my own personal lifestyle, I hardly sit down much. Except in the evening, I'm too tired and I just go through my trading system and stuff. So I use a lot of audiobook. So when I'm driving to work, when I'm cycling, when I'm running, I'm walking, cleaning dishes or cutting grass at the back, vacuuming in the house, I just listen to them. Your mind just automatically, when you're doing, simple job, repeatable, tedious job, your mind just gone blank. So you start time to make in your mind think, then your time go faster while you're doing those tedious jobs, in my view, and you learn something about it. And especially this is the case when you're driving. Most of us drive, okay, now we have COVID-19 lockdown, but when you go back to work in a normal time, let's say, I don't know, next 6 months or 12 months, most of us spend 1 to 2 hours traveling to and from work every single day. Let's say 1 hour. And that's quite a good time to do like five hours per week. And you use that you can use that for a book. You can basically listen to one book per month minimum, I would say. So that would be like 12 audiobooks per year for your mindset development, for your trading or a particular field that you want to. And then if it's not enough, you got more time, watch YouTube videos that actually in your field that is good for the mindset. And go from there. So mindset development to me anyway, as far as I'm concerned, especially when you go, like say in my the 6 steps, 6 stages of becoming a professional traders and stuff. I think you have to, as you go higher, it's no longer in that stage. It's no longer about the skill, the trading style, the steps. It's more like your mental step, your mental mindset. Can you cope with the situation, ups and downs and stuff? It's more about you, more about your mindset development. So that is very important. And I only start to learn and realize it because I just look at my trading, look at why am I selling so early. I have gone through all the problem steps that all new trader have. And then I just basically look through the trade and it's thumping myself all the time. I'm the one with the big thick skull, just like a lot of people out there, and I keep on banging my head against the wall, blowing my account. But I always ask the question at the end, I reviewed it, however much I don't like to look at times, and say, okay, what can I do to make my trading better? And I have taken a long time to learn from this, and all this will help you, this mindset development as you grow more, when you get more experience, it's a bit like wine making. Over time, you get better at it, and just never give up and keep on trading your mind. And I think Robert Kiyosaki said as well, be careful what you put in your mind. You want to be successful. Look at successful people. Do they watch TV and other stuff? No. Do they read books? Yeah. And they talk to other people to enrich their knowledge and get to know other people and get to them to help them and stuff. And also help them the mindset development and stuff. If a mentor have mentors, for example, I think Richard Branson is it, and he mentor other people, but he also have other mentors who help him on the aviation side and stuff. So don't think that we need to be an island, and then this mentor will definitely help you to develop a mindset as well over time. So mindset development is a must and something that I learned from my own experience, and it's quite useful to know about it. Next is which link to basically no news. I talked about TV just now. It's like what's the point of watching news nowadays? I mean, talking about what? COVID-19, who's to blame, how President Donald Trump react to criticism of how he, react and lock down the countries and react to the, virus pandemic, virus threats and stuff like that. Like, you know, it's just, to me, it's just like, yes, a bit of entertainment more like, but what can you do? What can they do to help you? To help you to trade and also your mindset development. Absolutely nothing. And from a trend following point of view, you just need to end of day price from the way I do it. I don't need end of day data. I only need to know the open price, the closing price, how high, how much is on the highest point on the day, lowest point of the day. That's I sometimes look at volume, volume of the trade. Sometimes I don't even look at it. Most of the time I don't, but sometimes I do, and that's about it. And Michael Covey on trend following .com website basically says it's correct. You can be left on a desert island and you just have end of day data. You can still trade. You can still make money, and that's just life. And what's the point of news? As far as I'm concerned, news are suspect. Most of the time, it's people's opinion, different stations, channels, whatever. They push their own opinion to you, but what matters is what you think, how you react, and all these news. Some things, it's just, to me, it's more like white noise, and it's not helping you. So you don't really need news. And sometimes people trade, buying on rumors, sell on facts, kind of stuff. You sure the market's going to do that? I don't know. Out there, the market basically make up of people and machine now, and they just go do their own thing. How can you predict all those stuff, which I'm going to talk about a bit more as well. So all these news going to help you, accept your price and your trading system, end of day price or whatever the numbers in your system, and then you basically just go from there. So to me, news basically is no good. I don't need that. And it's no point. Other people's opinion basically just mess my brain up, and sometimes they seems very convincing. Jesse Livermore, you read his book, Reminiscence of the Stock Operator. He talked to the Cotton King once. The Cotton King just lost a bundle of money, and he talked to the Cotton King, and Jesse thought, Livermore. More like that's the way people call him. Livermore thought that Cotton Kings know a lot more, like how things was grown, how things was prepared, how things was being sold, how it's being sent around the country, so internationally, blah blah blah. He seems very knowledgeable in that particular field, and Jesse Livermore basically trade based on what he think, and he lost a bundle. Jesse learned one thing, very importantly in the book, that is you trade with your own rules and system. Don't listen to others. Don't listen to news. That's one of the reasons I stopped listening to news and others' opinions, because he got burned big time. I think he's lost or his account during that time. Dives into millions in those days, back in the 1920s. It's a lot of money. And, a lot of people just listen to other people how to pick news. And sometimes the news stations, we think people make the right decision based on what we say in our news. Yeah, more entertainment-wise, but, you have your system. You must have a system. And if you have a system, you follow a system. The whole idea, you either buy it or you developed it. The whole idea is to follow that system, not because James Kramer says something, or Squawk Box says something, or your brother-in-law tell you something. Even your mentor. Suspect, think of his view. Check it out. Follow your system and see what your mentor is saying is correct. If your system is actually showing it, you have to make your own opinion. You must follow your own rules and trade that way. So news and other opinions, it's a big mistake to try to follow. Don't have your own system and then just follow it through. And I think that you have high probability you make money. Even if it's wrong, so what? Yeah, it's okay to be wrong. You can at least learn from it, and you know why you're wrong then, rather than somebody's opinion, you follow it through, and they don't even know how they come up with the opinion. It could be just made up. It could be fake news. So, when you decide, this is what I think, as far as I'm concerned, news is worthless to me. Trading news, that is. And number 5 now, this is this is what I always go back to, especially when you blow your account and you're down, and you basically, like I said before, it's okay to take a break, but when you take a break, you need to realize, do you want to go back into trading or not? You need to have your strong why, strong reason why I want to go back into trading, and you must have that, in my view. Understand why you start, why you go into trading in the first place. I mean, your mentor can help you, to develop your why. They probably can ask you and make you accountable and stuff. And at the end of the day, your account, your money, the money in your trading account speaks louder than anything else. It's your method actually working. It's you actually working, and the money just shows up. And if you blow your account, it's either your system not working or it's your mindset. And you follow your system to the T. That means you still lose money. That means your system got a problem. And if you don't follow your system, that means you have the problem. But at the end of the day, you need to understand why, and you basically have the gut to face your problem and remember your why you go into trading in the first place. A lot of us gone in because of the magic, dollar sign, ka-ching. But those one who stay on the game is those one who willing to, they look at what's the possibility of, the offering of trading. For me, it is like, the control of my own life and have a means to make money. Like now, I don't have to worry about, COVID-19 lockdown. I can make money because I am trading, and that's no problem with it, so long as the market is still open. But unfortunately, if you do a 9-to-5 job, you got stuck at home, and you got for long, and you just have to stay at home. What can you do? But you lose the means to make money. And then you use that and say, oh, this is my why. I want to have my own control of my own future. Yeah, that's good. But remember that when you're downtime, when you blow up your account, when things don't go your way, remember that and continue, and never give up. Okay, and your why will basically drive you through the tough time. And you need to also, when you blow up your account, you need to look at your own personality. I said it before about the trading system and stuff. You need to know who you are. You need to face the fear. Okay, the problems yourself, might be created by you, might be created by the environment, economy, or whatever. But you need to know why you want to trade, and face it, and then mitigate the problems and put system in place to help you. You might have to do this many times throughout your trading journey, and and always have a never give up mindset. But always remember why you're starting doing this. The main reason. At the start, it's just about money. I think Dan Lok recently have a video about it. Why you want money. At the end of the day, he said quite true. Is we want that feeling of control. We want the feeling that I can afford to do things that I want. Like send my children to private school, go to nice holiday every year, able to drive a nice car, or just basically able to have my own home, those kind of thing. And it's just feeling that you can do something. And trading might not necessarily be the thing you want to do to actually get to what you need to do. It could be you can start a business. It could be something else, but you need to understand your why in your trading, and then learn from it and move forward from it. And you find out trading might not necessarily your cup of tea. You might want to give up, but at least you know why. But I would strongly suggest you, even if you think trading is not for you, keep it with you, because a true investor, they have multiple sources of income. Okay. True trader just don't trade, just on this and that's it. They have other incomes coming through, especially when they develop them themselves. And they have other incomes. So keep that income. And okay, if it's not really your cup of tea, keep it small. On the sideline, just do it. And you'll be surprised, and you may make money. The less you worry about the money, and you follow your system, providing your system a positive edge, you might be positively surprised by how much money you can make. And that's just my 2 cents worth on that one. Next is, I think Jesse Livermore talked me about this, and took me a long time to understand it, is Don't argue with the tape. Don't argue with the chart. Don't argue with your system. Well, I don't really use chart. It's more like an indicator to me. But it's my system. Don't argue with your system when your system gives you a buy signal, even though it looks like totally BS. When the market is going down like now, some of the trade shares I'm tracking say, oh, time to buy. In the banks, when they're not making money, not making out loans and not sending money out to the right people, and they have probably a lot of bad loans on it. Some banks I'm tracking now say, oh, it's a buy in my system, and I just have to follow it. But it just really go against the grain. Buying it now, when I foresee fundamental this could be wrong. Well, my system says so, just go in. So don't argue the tape. Who knows? It might just continue. This rebound might continue. Remember what I said in my other podcast and my tweet as well. This rebound is going to make you feel like the good times have come back. It's continue. It might, for Dow Jones, it might go back down to 29,000 area. You never know. It's not about 5,000 away. It's not too far. And this rebound, normally bears jump out the windows, bulls run up the stairs. It could be, takes the rebound could take some time, and it could be 2 more or 3 more months or something. Continue until nobody still think it's a bear market, and suddenly something happens, and the black swan event comes in, or the grey rhino comes through and charging through, and then knock the market down. You can never tell. Okay, so your system say go long, then go long. Okay, just watch your account and watch your risk and follow it through and follow your system. So don't argue the tape. A lot of time, especially when you're starting, I think I put a podcast in about it. Catching a falling knife. The system is telling you to go short. You personally think the price is low, and you look at some videos on YouTube or news channel. Oh, they say it's good time to buy some now fundamentally, and then what? The price continue to go down. Remember Enron back in 2008, those times they make fake trading desks, fake accounting, everything else, and countrywide as well, and. Back in the 2008 time frame, they keep on saying that's 2009. There's no problem on the supply market. You're just still selling. Suddenly, the last quarter, I think 2008 or 2009, come out and say they lost loads of money. Boom, the market, the share gone down a lot, hell of a lot. But the 3 quarters before that, I keep on saying we're growing. Yeah, but your system, we'll probably have to tell you to go short. You should stay short and don't, listen to what other people said. As I said before, don't argue the tape. Don't argue your system. Okay? Jesse Livermore used his ways, his method also, including reading a tape for me. My method is based on my system. We just follow the system. Okay? And then basically just you work on my mindset. So your system say go long, then go long. Okay? And the other thing is, the next thing is, I think a lot of people don't like it, especially A students. Yes, I'm pointing you out, guy, A students, like myself, on borderline between A and B students. We don't like losing. We don't like being wrong, especially those people like when I went to Imperial and stuff for 2 years and stuff. Everybody's very opinionated. Everybody think they are right, and people don't really want to share. That's how I found it. And they don't like to be wrong. When they told them they're wrong, they get in a huff. They don't want to speak to you for months. Even some of them supposed to be your friends. And so for A students, when you take that mindset to trading, you don't like to be wrong. But people forget that trading is a probability game. You have every chance, every probabilistic calculated figures are to say you can be wrong at any trade that you take. So when you are wrong, when system say go long, but is hitting your stop loss, get out. Your stop loss is there. Your system is there to tell you, risks only so much. And then if the market doesn't agree with your system or agree with you, get out. Remember, the first things first. I think Warren Buffett said quite nicely. Rule number one trading, don't lose money. Rule number 2 of trading, follow rule number one. For us, to me, it means, survival. Your trading accounts is more important than making money in the first place. A lot of students, myself included, traders included, even experienced guys forget about it. They forgot. They always think of the money, the shiny things syndrome, and they forgot at the end of the day they must have money to trade to take the next trade. If they don't have money, they cannot trade. Full stop. And take a small loss, especially first loss. To me, is the best loss because normally it's the smallest, and it'll be fine. You don't like it, especially A students like sales and AB students. I said again, our ego, especially the really strong opinionated person, don't like to be wrong. Taking a loss seems like a expression that you are admitting you're wrong and you don't like it. A lot of people don't want to do that, and they lose a lot more money, and they thumb against thumb themselves. And if they're writing down, they can clearly see it, which trade, when they do that, and they then afterwards, if they do review, like I said, suggest you guys should do, you find out, I should do review, and look at what I have done wrong, and I was wrong here, and then why didn't I cut my losses? And then over time you learn to take small losses. Well, sometimes you do the wrong place, but slowly you find out, the first loss, when it hits your stop loss, that's what you give your trade the breathing room to work anyway at the start of a trade. So always remember, when you open a trade, always set a stop loss that is acceptable to you, and you must have the mindset, the mental capability to take that hit if your stop loss is reached. Just get out and remember, you save the pennies, save the money in your account. It's much better. That's old day saying, in China, basically, if you have a mountain, there's always going to be wood to burn. Okay, but if you have a mountain that's already burned down or it's barely any trees, there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, if you lose so many trees, you don't have anything to burn. So same trading account, if you keep on losing your money, you can't trade anymore. And that's very important. So learn to take small losses. Next, to me anyway, what make me in a way feel more mature and also treat it more, real is I take the whole thing trading as a business. I talk about it in my podcast. Yeah, we all start like people buying lottery, and trading. I dabble here, dabble there, make some money. Sometimes I don't. But we don't treat as a business. As a business, got business expense, and you got to learn and cope with the trade, cope with the changing market and stuff. And you need to to think that way. You don't go into a business with just to play around with it. Oh, it's fun with my friends to do that. Oh yeah, some of you might do that, but at the end of the day, ultimately, you and your friends group together or yourself go into business is for one thing only. You can supply the market with something that you think they're missing, and you can make some money out of it. It might work, it might not work, but you treat it as a business, and you watch your downside and try to push to upside and advertise to people and tell how good your product is and so forth, blah blah blah, and that's how business is. But if you're trading as like a hobby, I do this today, I do something else tomorrow, I jump up and down, I follow my route today, I don't follow tomorrow, next day I go jump around, like I said before, jump on a different system, this doesn't work, it's more like, today I buy, I risk £1,000 on my trade when you only have 10,000 in your account, and tomorrow I risk 5,000, and the day after I only risk 500. Those kind of things, because you do that because you don't treat trading as a business, and therefore you don't do things consistently, and you don't watch your downside, and you don't track things, and that this one basically one of the reasons that I turned my system, my trading method around, my trading journey around, my trading account basically. It's important to treat the whole thing as a business. And the other thing now, the next is basically your prediction. I could never say enough. Being trend following, don't predict, never predict. Trend following, remember the word trend. You need to find a trend, then you follow. Don't predict. This is not first type of technical analysis. Blue flag, head and shoulder, bear flag, whatever candlesticks patterns, resistance and support, those kind of things. I mean, it has its place. I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but for trend following, your heart in mind, the first thing you must have as a core in your heart is following. You don't you respond to changes. You don't just react suddenly. You respond. You think. You respond based on rules. You respond, and that's very important as far as I'm concerned. Don't pretend that or anybody will keep on telling you that they can tell you what happened tomorrow and then the year after. Even if they're right, can they consistently keep on predicting what's going to outcome on every different trade? There's tens of thousands of different, shares, markets, commodities, whatever you can trade out there. Can they keep on continuously telling you that the markets go this way or that way? So the best way for me anyway, it's easier just follow my system than to predict, because as far as I'm concerned, I learned from my hard way, predicting it's a marks game. Don't predict. It's just no point. That's my 2 cents worth on it. Basically, definitely do not predict. And last but not least, the final things that you can learn from your own mistakes is basically routine. And this one took me quite a bit of time to realize that. There's old saying that you are the sum of 5 people that you have constant contact with, and that's how it impact your habits, your process, and what you do in general. And for trading, it's very similar. It basically, whatever around you, environment around you, can affect your view of trading and cause you to do emotional trading, because fear and greed, or you just have an argument with your spouse, or your children make you upset or something. So overall, I feel environment is important, but with the process like your trading system, that can reduce it. However, to actually use it to help you, a nice, very calm environment while you're trading is important. When you're doing your analysis, is important. And when you execute a trade, don't be doing it just after an argument or something. You need to do it in a calm way. So to help myself, I mean, I got 4 kids and running around with full-time job, everything else myself, it's quite hectic to me. So I set up a routine. My routine, generally, I speak it or I say in previous podcasts, I only do in the evening when the kids went to bed. So about like 10:30, 11ish. When my wife is asleep, then I do about half an hour, 1 hour analysis before I go to bed by 12. On the weekends, I got a bit more time to do a bit more analysis myself, but always I do it when it's quiet. Sometimes I wake up earlier, like 4 or 5 o'clock, I couldn't sleep, or sometimes I try to change the time to find out which is fit me better. So at times I did also wake up like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, 1 hour before the kids wake up at about 7, and just do a bit of routine analysis, that kind of thing. So I sort of try both, and I found that in the morning works much better for me, but it's basically just depends on yourself. So it will also depends on my work demand. Sometimes I just feel so tired, just overslept and woke about 7ish and didn't have the time to do things. So I sort of switch between doing my analysis last day at night or first thing in the morning. So that's just my routine, and I basically make that as a habit. I always do some analysis either early first thing in the morning or late at night when it's quiet. I do something just to analyze the trading and signals and stuff, and I write down my trade I need to do next day, and then I set that in motion in my broker online, and then just open buy, open sell, and that's it, and just set my stop loss. Okay, and that is, it helps me because I get that routine. Now, yes, I'm like everybody else. I have emotional issue at home with wife, with children, at work. I'm also sometimes sick too. So having a process will definitely help you to basically kind of have a clear mind. And what I always I always have learned basically is my software development days, which I'm still doing at the moment. I always found which some projects seems to deliver better results. Like they go through certain process, produce certain set of documentation, and when you support it, it's relatively easy and simple. And also the design was very clear. So when you pass that design document around to other people, people can understand it and follow it. And I cover a lot of potholes and stuff. Now all this only happens when the project manager and also the teams used to a certain style of doing development, certain style of doing the analysis and writing documents and getting the right people involved. And that's a process of software development, okay? So same thing here. For us, we have to have a process. And then the process might not necessarily initially give you what you want, but if you follow the process and you're consistently getting the same problem, for example, and you can basically fixing it, and slowly and surely over time, the process, any pitfalls and problems can be fixed, and then you become better at it, and then that process become yours, and then your result will always be consistent. What you really aim for is, if it's problematic, fine. If it's even crap result, fine. So long as the same problem, you can fix it. But if you follow the same process and then come out different crap every time, or sometimes you just don't follow the process at all, you cannot have a set steps and set up and routines and habits and stuff that will help you to create the same environment, so to speak, and which help you to make a decision making, going through analysis and trading, and review your stuff and things like that. So your process is very important as far as I'm concerned. So, and yes, you can buy this from your mentor who sell your system, or go through a course, but at the end of the day, it's you. You have to walk through it. You have to set up that process that fit you. Okay, so the way I think of it is more like, I always go back to McDonald's. Around the world, no matter where you go, it's always more or less served by teenagers, young adults, and the burgers is not fantastic. You and I probably know somebody who can cook much better burger, but it is best. McDonald's had the best process to produce an average hamburger, no matter where you are in the world, and that process is very strict, very rule based, very down to nitty gritty, because they know exactly what needs to be done, that kind of thing. So I would like you. If you got time, go and watch the Founders. That's the McDonald's version of the film Founders. We talk about the McDonald's brothers and how the McDonald's actually got from franchise and stuff. And in that bit, there was a show to the salesman go and talk to the friend. McDonald's brothers, and the brothers were showing the salesman, the milkshake salesman, to how the system works. And I think that was only about 1 minute or 2 minutes long, right near the start. And basically, the McDonald's brother got lines of kids, basically just putting a hamburger, the bread onto the table, and one guy just constantly cooking, the other guy constantly just put the burger on in between the bread, and one just squeeze the sauce on it, and there's a couple of those two different sauce, and then onions and things, and then another one just wrap and just keep on sending it to the tills, and then people just keep buying it. And those are type of process that's McDonald's famous for: process based, rule based, and basically just follow that process, and you check out very quick, nicely needed, average hamburger. And for our trading, we need to do same thing as well. We have to have a process that we can follow and produce an average result. And you can, of course, improve it, but so long as you stick with the same process, you get the same result, no matter you do first thing in the morning, last thing at night or something, but you always have that environment. That will help you to do analysis, do better trades and stuff, and also when you write things down and stuff, you find out which one you go through process properly, which one didn't follow, and so forth. Then you can basically identify your problems. Sometimes the problem with trading could be your lack of routine. Not just having a trading system. It's no point having a trading system you don't following it. It's no point having a trading system and you just want to listen to anybody who has an opinion, and then you just either stay too long when your system say get out, or when your system say stay and you just got out too early, and you never get consistent result. So this is what I found. The process and the environment, basically, the routine help you a lot. Well, basically, this is my 2 cents worth of the 20 problems I learned from my own mistake when I do analysis of my past trade. It's not definite list. I have got more, but I think this 20 it always seems to come back, and seems to be from my past course, it go happen again and again, and quite often to other people as well. So I think those are 20 that are worth talking about. So hopefully I hope you have learned something from the last podcast and this podcast, and if you do just think it's worthwhile, then please send me an email, talk about how you overcome your problem, whatever other problems you might have, and recommend to your friends to listen to this podcast. Okay, so I'll speak to you next week, and stay safe. Bye for now.